Alright guys, packing this pile with the 64. I only got to do this half. That half was already packed. I really don't want to break a little bit of a crust that's already made. In the meantime that it's been, between chopping with all the rain and everything, that had an inch of rain on top of it, so it's crusting already. So I really don't want to break that crust. Get this side packed, and then if the wind dies down, I got a bunker cover. Against my better judgment, maybe we're gonna try it again this year. It's been 2 years since I've covered, so we're gonna try it this year, being I made quite a bit more feed than I normally do for the silage pile. Last year I did 10 loads. There's 24 loads on here, and this should be way more than I need for this winter time. So my plan is I'm gonna try and feed that half of the pile this winter and then this half leave. Don't know how that's gonna work. I might do it the other way. I might feed this side and leave that side. I don't know. But we are planning on chopping the winter rye next spring. Basically because regardless, it's going to be baleage or rylage, whether it's baled or chopped, and to pile it and cover it is cheaper than to bale it and wrap it. A roll of bale film costs $90, and you can wrap about 18 bales with a roll. So you do the math on that. 18 bales are 4x4 bales. They are approximately 500, maybe 600 pounds. They could be anywhere from 700 to 800. It all depends. I don't have a scale, so I don't know exactly what my bales are, but I make 4x4 bales. That works good with the size herd that I have because I feed daily. I don't just throw a bunch of feed out in front of them, let them sit and eat all day long, because then they get fat. And if they get fat, they have problems calving, they have problems breeding. So with my cows, I feed 1 bucket of corn silage and 1 round bale a day. Last year, if you remember, I basically fed in the morning, and the year before I fed in the evening, and this year I'm going to go back to feeding in the evening, because there have been trials done, and this is, with me switching it up, has been doing my own trials. They say that most cows will calve the opposite 12 hour of what you feed them. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And I'm planning on feeding from the west out of this pile this winter. So if I feed in the evening, as you can see right now, it is 5:24 p.m. The sun is shining on this end of the pile. So the silage should have thawed a little bit from the sun, and it won't be as, frozen clumps on this end. Versus if I feed at that end, you get the morning sun, but it never really thaws because it doesn't see enough sun early enough. So I am going to feed in the afternoon again for 2 reasons. One, to see if the cows will calve like they're supposed to, and number 2, for the silage pile. Yes, I am still looking for a TMR mixer. And actually, I do not know for sure. There's stationary night that's on Craigslist. I have seen, and other guys have pointed out to me that it's there, it needs some work, it's missing the motor. I don't know for sure if that's the route I'm gonna go. I'm really thinking about a vertical mixer, one of those smaller ones, with a gas motor on it, kind of like what the Farming Life and Elm Custom Harvesting have. But I don't think I'm gonna buy a hydrostatic one like what he has, and it's not even gonna be the same brand, to tell you the truth. There's a company in Wisconsin here that's not too far from me that builds their own, and I talked to them and they would build me one like what he has. Actually, it'd be just a little bit bigger than the one he has. Gonna be a lot less than what they get for those hydrostatic ones. Basically, what I would do is they are going to build me either a trailered model or a model that's going to have a skid loader quick attach on it, where I can start it, have it running, and then I can use the skid loader to fill it, and then when I'm done I can drop the bucket and then hook up to the skid loader, or hook up to the mixer with the skid loader, hook up the hydraulics quick, that'll run the door, and then I can take it right out to wherever the cows are and fill in their bunk. I can take it in the steer lot and feed in their bunk, and if I decide to build a new barn with a center feeding, I would be able to drive it right through there and feed, because I still would really like to build a barn with a center drive-through feeding, and then the area where the cattle stand to eat is inside. Basically, I want to build it like a shed with center drive-through, and then where they stand to eat, and then build a lean-to off like this, where on the north side could be either the cows and the calves, or the south side could be the cows and the calf, and then the opposite could be the steers. That's what I'm hoping to build in a couple years. Because what I have right now isn't going to fit what I want to do here in the future. We're going to see how this Holstein thing goes. As of right now, I am planning on getting calves. I'm just waiting for some phone calls on the neighbors to when they have calves born, and then I am planning on raising calves. But anything I raise this fall is going to be sold in the spring as feeder calves, and then anything I raise next spring will go on the lot in the fall with my beef calves when I wean them, and I will finish them with my beef. Now I know Holstein and beef don't finish out the same. That's alright. If I build this shed the way I want it to, it'll be easy for me to separate, so I can feed the Holsteins a little bit longer than the beef to get them finished, and then still have room for all my other calves when I wean them. And basically with the size that I want to build it, if I ever get this other piece of ground, I will have enough feed alley in there that I can double my herd on my beef cows, and then I probably won't raise Holsteins anymore. But for right now, I'm not going to put all my cropland into pasture and buy my feed just to have more cows. I enjoy doing all of this. I don't just enjoy the cows, or I don't just enjoy the field work per se. I like doing everything. So right now, once I get those woods cleared off, and whether I take that 3 acres, 3.5 acres of that field out or not, 21 cows is about what I can have on the pasture I have right now. If I could get that one back there to grow good, I could get up to 24 or 25 with what I have. And that's figuring 120 days of grazing on pasture. And then by 120 days, hopefully I can have 2 cuttings of hay off. Then I could graze my 3rd or 4th cutting, or 3rd and 4th cutting. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. But I'm really hoping to raise as many bottle calves as I can this winter as feeders to sell in the spring for cash flow, because I do want to get a different tractor, or not a different tractor, but another tractor by spring, because this tractor right here, this is where he belongs. If it would take me a lot less to do this pile if I had him here and not the 4020. It works the way I do with parking the chopper box here and unloading and pushing up with the skid loader, but it works a lot better if I can take him and just pull the boxes over the pile. This tractor will pull the boxes over the pile. The 4020 will not. The 4020 is too light in the rear end for doing this. This tractor here has a lot more weight than the 4020 has. Not to mention, this has front wheel assist. And this tractor does not have fluid, and the 4020 does. And with the 4020, it wouldn't matter if I put new tires on the back of him. He's too light in the rear end. It's not my 4020. I grew up running the 4020s, 4440s and all them, and on the dairy farm, that 4020 we had brand new Firestones on it. It had 18-438s full of fluid. It couldn't pull a box on the pile either. Growing up, we used the Alice 7060 and the one of the 4440s for pulling the boxes up on the pile. And there we couldn't drive off the other end. There you drove up on there and you unloaded as you backed up. So it's not really the tires on my 4020, it's just the fact that it's not a good job for him. And honestly, this pile would look better if I could have used this tractor. And I probably could have chopped with the 4020, but he'd have never pulled on them hills. This tractor was in 4-wheel drive, scratching and clawing trying to pull them hills with these boxes. First time around, not a problem. Second time around, started getting iffy. Third time around, once it started getting to half a box, then she's pawned. So the 4020 would have never done it. Not to mention, he would have been running so hot today. This tractor was even running, like right now, this is where he was running the other day chopping. And today it was up in the middle of that top part. And that hill doesn't look as big as it is, but it's bigger than you think. And then it goes down, then it comes back up. So that's the hill. You can see where the center where I split the field. Coming down that, the last year that I had my 3950 before I sold it, I had it behind my 4440. And I come sliding down that hill with the 4440. And my 44 did not have fluid in the tires. I never wanted to put fluid in them because honestly, I don't want any more weight than I have to have, because everybody's worried about compaction. Well, let's add 1,600, 2,000 pounds worth of fluid to a tractor, and that's just more compaction, right? So I've always wanted a front wheel assist, and the front wheel assist makes a night and day difference even without fluid. And where it really shines is when you're going downhill. You don't start skidding. You got 4 tires that are driving that'll hold you back. So I came sliding down that and everything stayed in a straight line. So I come home and put the left dual on, and that helped a lot. But guess what? Then the chopper and the chopper box jackknife 2 rounds later. I got the PTO shut off in time, but if you ever been in the quad range and try to go from B range to D range right now on the fly, you got to be good at grabbing gears to go. And I got ahead of it. Nothing broke, nothing bent or nothing. But that wouldn't have been prevented even with front wheel assist. But that's how steep that hill is back there, and it was dry, it wasn't wet. So that was with 16-foot boxes, not my 14s that I have now. When I sold the 3950, I sold it as a package deal with the boxes. And somebody asked me why I've had so many choppers. Well, back in the day, I kind of used to be an equipment jockey. I would buy equipment on auctions for cheap. I'd bring it home, fix it up, run it for a year or two, and then I would sell it and make money. Other times, I'd run them for a year or two and I'd grenade them because I put a 160 horse PTO tractor in front of them and they couldn't take it. But back then, I had a different outlook on everything, and it was hurry, hurry, hurry. And anymore, it's not hurry, hurry, hurry. Now it's take your time and enjoy what you're doing, because I know tomorrow this is going to be done and it's going to be back to not much going on again. So that's kind of how it is with me. Yes, I am looking for another front wheel assist tractor. That I am hoping Holstein bottle calves selling as feeders in the spring will help fund another front wheel assist tractor. This tractor is 85 PTO horsepower. I want at least 105 PTO horsepower. I would love 116. That would be my ideal size. So like a 7600 or a 7610. Now my local John Deere dealer has a 7410 sitting on their lot that I have test drove. It needs some work. Supposedly they will fix everything if I buy it. And they will set it on, or put it on the dyno and set it to 115 PTO horsepower for me, which they said a lot of them right now are already putting that out without even being touched. But they would hook it to a dyno, and if it's not 115, they will set it there. So the nice thing about the 74 is got a short hood like this. 7600 is a bigger frame, so it's got the longer hood, which I don't really care. This short frame, or this, yeah, the shorter frame is nice. But that's not saying I'm going to buy a John Deere. I have test drove some other tractors that are front wheel assist. They're pretty nice tractors for the money. So I don't know for sure, but I would like something bigger on the chopper by spring. Yes, I am still planning on buying another chopper. Probably going to be a New Holland, just because they're cheap, and my $200 chopper's got the job done 2 years in a row. If I can find the right deal on a 30 or a 782 or a 790, which a 790 would be nice, being they've got the nicer adjuster for the shear bar. If I can find the right deal, preferably just a chopper with the corn head, a 2-row narrow, that's probably what I'm going to buy, and it'll just chop hay crops. It won't chop corn. I'm going to continue to use a 718 until either Michigan Farming buys it or I grenade it. That's just the way it's going to be. I have no gripes about that chopper. It gets the job done. It'd be nice to have a 2-row head. But if I don't find a 2-row head, if I just find a chopper without one for the right money, I'll just run a 1-row again next year. If that chopper does leave, I'm probably going to buy one to replace it, because I hate changing the heads on New Holland. I would gladly have a second chopper sitting in the shed and not have to change heads than screw around changing heads. And the other reason is, if chopper A breaks down, I can hook the chopper B and go finish the job and not have to, who am I going to call to come finish it for me? I am not the kind of person that calls and asks for help from anybody. You can ask all my buddies that I hang out with. They all owe me big time. I'm always helping them, but nobody ever comes here. That's just the way I am. I work alone. I like working alone. I don't mind working with my wife and kids when I have to. But I just tend to work alone. I don't mind it. So yeah, it takes longer, but it's what I like doing. I like fishing and hunting too, but I like doing this more. So, but anyways, as you can see, this is why I use the 6400. If I use the 4020, you'd see the front tire tracks all the way along it, and it just doesn't make it as smooth when you're done. If I could put these tires on the front of the 4020 just for packing, I just throw a bale on the loader and pack with them. This tractor is heavier, but the 4020, you know, and really with the 4020, I could put a bale on the loader and a bale on the 3-point, and I could probably get close to what this tractor weighs then. But it's the front tires are the drawback to why I don't use him. I will between, you know, I always fill both wagons, come unload them, and then after I unload both wagons, then I pack with 4020, then I go back out and chop 2 loads, do it over again. You know, I have 10 hours into chopping total, maybe 12. Yeah, if I had a bigger chopper, if I called custom guys, it'd be done in 2 hours. But if I called them to come, it's done in 2 hours. What am I going to do for the rest of the day? Sit in the house in front of the TV? I don't think so. This is what I enjoy. So I don't know. It's all in what you want to do and what you like doing. Some people like sitting in front of the TV. I don't. Honestly, all we get is public television. When I say public television, I mean PBS. And cooking with Martha is fine if you want to sit and watch somebody else cook. But that's not my. That's not what I like. I sit and watch YouTube if I'm in the house, and I'm not usually in the house during the day. I'm usually out here even if there's nothing to do. I'd rather sit and stare at my cows than sit and stare at TV. So before anybody says, why don't you just hire it done, that's why I don't hire it done. So anyways, guys, this is pretty much done. I'm going to go over it a couple more times. Sit in this air conditioning because it's the first time I sat in air all day. It's been too warm. I didn't want to run the air conditioning while chopping. I didn't feel like making the tractor have to work any harder than I had to just to keep me comfortable while chopping. So now I get to sit in air conditioning because now he ain't really doing nothing. But anyways, hopefully the wind dies down tonight so I can get this covered. Take and scrape all that silage away from the outsides. I'll throw that on the ends or the sides of the plastic. I'll square up the ends with the skid loader. I'll throw that on the ends with a couple bales. That'll hold it down until I'm ready. And then we'll just wait until the end of November or whatever. Probably right before deer hunting. That's when we'll start feeding out of it. He is put away. I do plan to green chop, but I plan to hook him up to green chop, and that's because there's a huge hornet nest inside of him. So I'm going to hook him up after dark. And the hornets are going to have a rude awakening. They're going to get an eviction notice after dark. So anyways, guys, that's the plan. Thanks for watching. I don't know how many people are actually going to watch the very end, but if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. So anyways, guys, catch you later.